Hello, business building warrior. My name is Jim. Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio Podcast. As the title already told you, I'm going to talk about what to do if you've only got a few $100s to start your e-commerce journey. What do we suggest? I'm going to spend plenty of time on that with very specific suggestions as we get rolling into this episode. I do want to spend some time as well pointing out the fact that we've got numerous, I would say dozens, easily dozens of podcast episodes where we've interviewed people who started with less than $1,000. And that's all they put into their business. And they just rolled that money over slowly over time, at least until they really had a good, solid proof of concept and they were very confident. Some of them did put a little more money in after that, but a lot of them never did. And they just rolled that money over and built incredible, beautiful businesses. I'm going to talk you through how that math works. But like I said, I'm going to spend plenty of time as well talking about what do you do if you've only got a few $100s and you really need this to work. You want to be very cautious. We don't want to overpromise anything. We don't tell people that, hey, just show up with $1,000 and we're going to turn you into a business that's worth $50,000 a month in just a few months. No, that's not possible. That math doesn't work. No one can do that. We can give you the best returns I've ever seen of any business model anywhere. In fact, we say all the time about our basic Amazon selling models. They're the lowest risk, lowest learning curve, highest odds of nice success business models that I've ever seen in all of e-commerce. That's been my only income for 22 years. I've sold tens of millions of dollars of products online. I've never seen anything like the business model of being a reseller on Amazon, helping fill the underserved shelf space. And we want you to get there, but you are going to need $1,000 to $2,000 minimum to get that business model rolling. If you don't have that, if you've only got a few $100s for whatever reason, maybe you're just super conservative, or maybe that's all you've got. You want to be cautious, or you're just limited in resources. We're going to talk through some specific ideas today for sure that you're going to enjoy. But let me spend a little bit of time talking through how $1,000 or $2,000 can ramp up very quickly into something really nice. Let's talk about how you can turn $1,000 into $5,000 in about a year, taking very minimal risks and really not even being that good at selling on Amazon. That's just a 15% net return done once a month or so. 15% once a month or so, turning your money over, 15% net margins, takes you to well over $5,000. In fact, I did the math here. It's $5,300 approximately. If you start with 2,000, numbers are obviously far better. Let me just take a quick look at that number, see if I can make this math work real fast. That would get you up to, $10,000, over $10,700 if you start with 2,000. So it's possible to get something really nice going, and you're not going to find those kind of returns very many places. You may think, oh, well, 15% net margin, that's nothing. And you're right, it is. That's very low. I'm saying, assuming you're not very good at all at this business, you can still turn 2,000 into 10,000 in about a year if you roll your money over and keep buying super easy to find inventory, super easy to flip inventory. It's just not a complex model. Most of our students are doing 20 to 30%. So when you start changing those numbers, the numbers can get big really fast. There's a reason we love the Amazon replens model that we teach in the Proven Amazon course. If you get into our courses, you get into our training, we're going to baby step you through. You're not going to take any big risks. You're not going to go buy a bunch of inventory and hope you can sell it someday. You're not going to spend a bunch of paid ad money hoping you can dig out of the hole that you've been digging as you go into this investment. No, for a couple $1,000s, even 1,000, I would argue, is more than enough for you to get proof of concept, get all the tools that you need. The cost for all the tools every month is about $100. That's all the tools and subscriptions you need. That's about $40 a month for your Amazon seller account. You need a pro account with Amazon. It's about $40 a month for the training with us, $39. That's the Proven Amazon course that steps you through the process. And there's a cool tool called Keepa that you need, $20 a month. We teach you how to use that in the course. That's it, $100 a month. Let's say you're starting with between $5,000 and $1,000. You got $100 a month that you got to set aside for your tools and training. You need to put in about 10 to 15 hours a week minimum to get this ball rolling. If you do that, you can turn 1,000 into 5,000 in a year. It's very realistic. And that's if you're really not good at this at all. That's if you fall on your face more often than you actually make a nice profitable sale. you're going to get at least that if you're paying attention at all. Those margins and those numbers go way up if you're paying attention, if you're cautious with your money, if you learn the lessons we have for you. But let's set that aside for a second. Now that I've given you a realistic roadmap of what's possible with $1,000 or $2,000 in our community, let's set that aside and say you've only got 500 or less, and you have to be really cautious with it. Maybe you don't have anything. Maybe you got nothing to start with. These ideas are going to be applicable to you. Let's start with the nothing ideas. You've got nothing. You've got no money whatsoever to put into your business. Here's what I would do. I would reach out to all my neighbors, the people in my area, my friends, people who live near me, the connections I have. Hopefully you're working on that. You don't need money to do these things, to be a friend, to talk to people, have conversations, and say, hey, I've got a deal for you. I'm starting to learn e-commerce. I'm starting to sell online. I'm trying to make a little money doing this, hustling. Got an offer for you. If there's anything in your house that you don't want or need anymore, I'll do all the work. You keep the product. Let's just put it in a special place in your garage, perhaps. You keep it there. If it doesn't sell, you're no worse off. If it does sell, I'll come get it. I'll make sure the customer gets it, and I'll give you a big chunk of the money for the time and effort spent. Maybe it's a 50-50 deal. That's a fair deal. I would do that. There's plenty of stuff in my garage that I would do that with people like, hey, I'll take care of all this, split the money with you. What do you think? Yeah, go for it. Clean out that part of my garage. A lot of people have a lot of stuff they just don't want right now, and they would jump at the chance. So now you've got what? Free inventory. Jump on Facebook Marketplace. If you don't know how to use it to sell stuff, you can learn in 2 minutes on your own. You don't need to buy a course or curriculum or any material. Watch a YouTube video. Learn to sell on Facebook Marketplace. Take a few pictures, list it, negotiate, show up on time, meet in nice, safe, public places, deliver the goods, get the cash, give it to your person who's helping you out. Super simple. I know people who've made a lot of money. I don't suggest that as a full-time gig because it's a lot of hustle. It's a lot of having conversations with people that end up not showing up, or people that try to talk you down, even though they've already talked you down. A lot of people saying, is this still available? Even though it says right in the ad, it's still available, right? You're going to get some frustrations with that model, but you can put several $100s or even a few $1,000s a week in the bank, zero inventory cost. Save that cash up so you can start to build a real business system like the one we teach here. What's the difference between a side hustle and a system? Well, a side hustle, if you stop working for 2 weeks, the money stops flowing. If you build a system, you build a process, you build a money-making machine, a business, you think like an investor, think like an entrepreneur instead of like a worker or a technician. Now you've got a machine. Like episode 754 of our podcast, Kang, he built a $3 million machine. He's got his team, a couple people that run the whole thing. Now he built software that supports it. That software you have to pay for monthly. So we're not talking about trying to sell you that software yet, but I just want to tell you that's what's possible in our community over time as you have some funds to invest. If you want to hear that episode, go to silentjimdotcom/the system, and you can hear me talking to Kang. I'll go back to my favorite episode of 2024, number 754, and listen to Kang's full story. It'll blow your mind. But back to having a few $100s. That's idea number one. Idea number two, let it be known to friends, neighbors, anyone in the area that you'll take books off people's hands. You collect books. You give the good ones to worthy causes. You donate them to local, homeless shelters or retirement homes, et cetera, the ones you can't use. You donate generously to daycares, perhaps, and then the ones that are valuable, you sell. You can say, hey, I'm going to give a portion of my proceeds to this good cause, and you're very public about the money you're collecting and gathering, and you give generously, track your numbers. Free inventory is everywhere for books, everywhere. You can find people who are running garage sales and say, hey, did you have any leftover books that I can take off your hand? Anything, and they'll give you, donate other stuff too. Plenty of people who have yard sales will just give you like, hey, take all this, and you'll end up throwing a lot of it away, but there'll be some gold and some treasures in there too. But the reason I say books is because if you have a place that you can store and keep from getting musty or smoldery, damp, or you're not a smoker, this doesn't work if you're a smoker. You want to have a nice dry place that is climate controlled, and we'll keep the moisture out of the air. Big tip for books. There's plenty of ways to do that. And you have a place to store them. There's no storage fees on Amazon. You can list these things on Amazon with some basic research skills. You can see which ones are moving fairly quickly, list them at a decent price. You're selling free inventory at that point. It's a great opportunity. Libraries have book sales. You can go through and just buy huge portions of books. It's very tedious. It's very time consuming. You do not want to FBA books, the meaning send them into Amazon's warehouses unless they are super fast sellers and you're super confident in your process. But as an Amazon seller, if you don't have enough money for training, for in-depth, detailed, step-by-step courses, you've just got a few $100s or you've got no money and you just need to put a few extra $100 in the bank, books can be a great idea for you. Now, if you do have a little bit to invest in your business, $39 a month to invest, shut it off in 2 or 3 months if it's not making sense to you, but get into the Proven Amazon course. That is a library of tens of thousands of dollars of content and training and videos, events. It's packed full of everything you need right when you need it. Remember, we practice just-in-time education here instead of just-in-case education. What that means is we give you right what you need when you need it for your next step in your journey, instead of trying to teach you everything you need to know. So the Proven Amazon course has multiple modules. Some of those modules are perfect for people who don't have much money. One of them is called Buy Local, Sell to the World. There's also an eBay course in there as well. So if you get the Proven Amazon course, you get Buy Local, Sell to the World, you get a great eBay course. Those courses cost very little, next to nothing really, for you to start to roll out and implement and start stacking some cash for your business. Instead of spending it, stack it. It's an investment fund. Spend maybe a little bit of it, but stack that cash so you can launch a real system business, a business that can be sold someday to someone else, a business that becomes the foundation of multiple income streams, a business that opens up other doors of opportunity. See, the reason I like to talk people out of putting tape on boxes, business models where you're the one doing the listing, you're the one doing the shipping, you're the one doing all the work, you're the one running the ads, driving around, making the sales, collecting the cash, is because you're not building a system that can be sold someday. You've built a side hobby hustle. And that's great if that's the season of life you're in and that's all you can do. That's beautiful. But I want you to escape that rat race and get into system thinking, multiple income stream thinking, collecting relationships with great people, collecting opportunities, launching new business models, becoming a leader. It's a leadership journey that you'll be on after you escape the rat race. But if you're in the rat race and you've got a few $100s, hey, these are the ideas I'm giving you right now that can help you start to get ramped up into having a couple $1,000s set aside that you can begin to take a serious Amazon journey with us and begin to explore some of those incredible strategies that you hear us talking about on all of our episodes. But this is hopefully an episode of encouragement for you. We've seen time and time and time again, we've seen people who are homeless go from homeless to homeowners. That's actually a book of one of the students in our community, Carolyn McFall. Look her up. From Homeless to Homeowner. It's a book on Amazon. Get it. She started off with very little in a women's shelter and on the run from an abusive husband and saved up enough to buy the Proven Amazon course. Had she reached out to us, we probably would have donated it to her, but she saved up and gave it to herself as a Valentine's Day gift. Changed her life. That book is that story. So you've got those kind of incredible stories in our community, and we're very proud of those stories. We want you to be that next story. Just because you're at a season of life right now where you don't have much, that doesn't have to be where your story ends. The beautiful thing about being a human and all of God's creation, we're the only part of God's creation that can wake up one day and say, you know what? I don't like where I'm at right now. I'm going to make a series of decisions and actions that take me to a better place. My life's going this way right now, but I'm done with that. I'm going that way now. And you make the decisions and you set your course and you follow with determination, a new course, a new path, and you become something different than what you were going to be originally. Just people. We're the only ones that can do that. Isn't that an amazing gift that God gave us? That free will choice. So make that choice. I don't want to oversimplify it, but make that choice. Many, many people far less qualified than you, with far more challenges than you have, with worse parents than you had, and poorer choices in their child and their teen years, and less education, and they came from less money than you did, and they're less talented, they're less well-spoken, they've read fewer books than you have, yet they've built something beautiful. Why not you? Why not you? You don't have to look far to find people less qualified than you who have done something amazing. So Why not you? Why not get started? And that's what we love to do here, is give you the instructions, give you the motivation, hopefully the encouragement to make those things happen. So I've given you a couple of ideas today. You don't have to look far to find other hustle ideas. If you got to hustle, if you're in that season where you got to pick up some Uber, some delivery, whatever you got to do, stack that cash and then start to use it in a very conservative, very cautious way, investing in an Amazon replens business. And the reason I think that's a great next step, again, is because that's the lowest risk, lowest investment required, lowest learning curve business model that we've ever seen, with the highest odds of producing beautiful success for you and rolling that money over. It could be just 15, 20% net margins that you're getting. And if you're rolling it over, you're going to very quickly 5x whatever money you started with within less than a year. You're going to 5x your money in less than a year. That's at 15, 20% net margins. You can expect very reasonable, way more net margin than that. I'm just being as conservative as possible. So stick with it. Stick with our community. We love business building warriors of all qualifications, all sizes, all shapes. Hey, if you've got the margin in your life, though, let's say you're ready to go further, faster. Let's say you've got a little more money than that set aside. Let's have a conversation. Get one of our consultants on your schedule. You can go to silentjimdotcom/book a call, all one word, book a call. There's a text number there if you want to use that, and just reach out to us anytime. But schedule a call. Let's talk through the resources we have here, which ones make the most sense for you. And maybe you're ready to go further, faster with a coach. You want someone who's built a beautiful business to handhold you and mentor you. Actually, you get a team behind you when you get into our coaching program. You get a reactive and a proactive coach, someone you can reach out to on a regular basis, plus someone you schedule with. You get all of our courses and content, and you get a great guide helping you through not just your business, but a mentor, someone who's built a beautiful business. If you see the value in that, we'd love to connect with you and talk with you about that, or any of our other resources. Let's meet. If we haven't met yet, let's meet, let's talk. Let's get you on the right path. If you're still trying to stack that first $500 to $1,000 so that you can do something meaningful, hey, we've got your back. We've got some great ideas in our community. Let us help you. Hopefully the ideas I dropped on you today are ones that are viable for you. The basic skills needed to hustle and put some money in the bank, man, it's just the bar is pretty low. If you're ready to do the work, there's opportunity out there everywhere. So let's make it happen no matter where you're at. We'd love to make you one of our next big success stories. Speaking of which, if this is one of the first episodes you've ever heard, you should know we have hundreds of interviews with the successful students from our community who have followed the proven Amazon course training modules into various different business models, primarily starting with the vast majority of the time, I'd say 95% of our successful students the past several years have started with the proven Amazon course, replens training. That's where we start all new students. Unless you've got a really, really big advantage and a great reason to ignore that training, that's where you should start, because Amazon right now has hundreds of warehouses across the United States with millions of ASINs that are understocked to meet the demand that's out there. And we prove it. We show you how to find that underserved shelf space, how to serve it, how to keep the risks super low. So you're not going out and buying 500 units trying to save, 8%. You're buying a few units at a time, flipping them for worst case scenario, break even margins. Best case scenario, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50% net margins or more. That's the models we love to teach you so you can scale into something significant, build a beautiful business. That's what we love to do here. We're all about business building warriors. We're all about helping you feel great about the business you're building. We want to celebrate your victories with you. I think our Facebook place is one of the few places online where we celebrate business victories. We're not going to come back and go, well, it's time for you to give back. You've been taking for too long, Mr. Businessman. No, we celebrate the victory. We know that you've been giving and sacrificing and saving. You've made mistakes. You've lost money on bad ideas. It's time for it to start to pay off for you. And we want to be part of that process. And we celebrate it when it starts to happen. We know your business people are among the greatest people out there. Some of my best friends, the people that I love and trust the most, are people that I've built businesses with because we've been in the trenches. I know that it takes blood, sweat, tears, work, and sacrifice to build something significant, and we get it here. So we celebrate your victories and your success as an Amazon seller or e-commerce warrior, or in any business for that matter. It takes a special person to succeed in business. If all I know about you is you've built a successful, profitable business that's sustained over a significant period of time, I know, like, and trust you already. That's all I needed to know, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into building a beautiful business. So we got your back. We're in your corner. If you're starting out with just a little bit of money, you can do this. The opportunity has never been better. I say all the time that if you had to pick a time to be alive, to have just a little bit of resources and set out to try to build a big, beautiful business, right now is the best time in human history. It's not even close. All of the opportunities that are available to you. What you don't want to get stuck doing is taking big risks, gambling, throwing your money to the wind on untrusted ideas, trying to guess your way through. You don't want to do that, because there's a lot of opportunities out there that look great that aren't really, there's no substance to them. How about you find a community of people with over 2,500 success stories, with hundreds of successful interviews in an expanding, exploding opportunity? Amazon, half of all transactions online any given day, they're on Amazon. That's why we start there. What's our next favorite platform? Walmart. Why? Because they're growing faster than any other e-commerce platform. That's where the eyeballs are. That's where we take our students, to the low-hanging fruit opportunities. Then we teach you how to find the great inventory and how to flip it on those sites. That's the foundation of an incredible business opportunity for you. All right, I think I've made my point. If you got less than $500, we got your back. We got some great resources. I got something free for you that I think is really going to help you as well. If you're low on cash, let me give you the best-selling book that's sold 1 million copies. It's got thousands of 5-star reviews on Amazon. It's been updated 11 times, this book. And the latest version is completely free. It's called Silent Sales Machine. That's the name of this podcast. It's named after the book that sold all those copies and helped all those people launch successful e-commerce careers. Go to silentjim.com/free11. The word free, then the number 11, 11, as in version 11. silentjim.com/free11. Free access to that book. I'm going to talk you through the landscape of e-commerce opportunities, what skill set you have, what you bring to the party, and what the best starting point for you is, and the best path forward for you to start using the internet as a silent sales machine, making you money even while you sleep. Doesn't that sound great? Building beautiful income streams, doing it the right way, building a business you can be proud of, to tell your friends and family about. Let's do that together. We'd love to be part of that journey with you. All right, God bless you, business building warrior. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, I got good news for you. Most episodes involve guests, interviews with the successful students from our community. If you want to hear some of those, just scroll back in time. Got hundreds of success stories from our community, from students of the Proven Amazon course, from readers of the Silent Sales Machine book. We'd love to get you plugged into our community if you aren't yet. Free Facebook group. 79,000 of us hang out in our free Facebook group. There's a link at silentjimdotcom to that group. Get in there, see for yourself. That's where all those success stories are. That's where people are talking very openly and transparently about their business every day. If we can help you, we'd love to have you in there. We'd love to help you out. All right, we'll have another great episode for you very soon. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us on today's episode. But before I let you go, I've got a special guest I want to bring on for a couple minutes. It's my good friend, Kang Dang. He's the creator of the 3P Mercury software that you can find out more about at silentjim.com/thesystem. And he's got some updates and insights for us about once a week or so that we're going to be bringing to you. So what do you got for us today, Kang?
Yeah, Jim. We've heard some really good feedback from our beta users since they started using it. Recently, we had 2 users who faced the Section 3 suspension from Amazon. And, with Amazon, they always like to keep their ducks in a row. And sometimes they just send you a little Section 3 and ask you for, proper documentation. And usually things like this could be scary, but, if you have all of your documentations ready to go, it's typically not a problem. We see most users coming back with no issues. But our 2 users has shared with us that since using 3P Mercury, one of the benefits of having a workflow system like this is to keep all of your documentations pretty much ready to go. So they were able to search for their receipts, and without keeping proper records and having an efficient way to pull it. it becomes a really difficult task to do. Like, for instance, in the past, when I got IP complaints, doing the replens business, you often buy an ASIN many, many times. And when Amazon sends you an IP complaint, they don't want just the latest receipt. They want all the receipts.
They could ask for a
So,
year's worth of receipts, and you could have bought it from retail and from online, and you could have a handful of different sourcing locations for any given ASIN, right?
right, right. And oftentimes just finding all of those receipts that Amazon requires could take hours at a time. And it's just time taken away from your business where you can actually do productive things and advance your business further. But you have to kind of like stop dead in your tracks to do these administrative tasks. So, with our two users here, they were able to just, type in an ASIN and it just showed all of their receipts, in a matter of seconds. And they were able to provide that to Amazon, and they shared with us that they were back within a week. They were nice enough to let us know that, 3P Mercury really helped them in this process.
Yeah, the process of managing your receipts and invoices and knowing which ASINs they are associated with is a manual nightmare. But the system completely automates that and a lot of other processes as well, which is why you were able to run a $3 million replens business with a tiny team, a couple people, fully automated.
Yeah, this whole journey started me off building the software because of things like this. In fact, if you listen to my previous podcast, I even ditched online arbitrage because I just got tired of how messy it is to keep track of all these receipts and transactions. And I went the wholesale route. And then about a year later, I said, "Oh man, the wholesale margins are not as good as online arbitrage, retail arbitrage. Maybe I should figure out a way to clean up the process and be able to scale efficiently." I know a lot of people who do massive numbers on online arbitrage, but they have to hire like 20 VAs, 30 VAs just to manage the business. And it's really not necessary if you have a system that is efficient and can keep things in order. And that's what I did. And then that's how I'm able to run this business with a very small team.
Exactly. It allows you to manage a very large list of ASINs that you sell a handful at a time per month and do very well with it. So yeah, I love the system. I love what it's doing for our community. We have hundreds of users already giving us rave reviews. You're going to hear more and more podcast episodes with users of the system. Again, to go find out more information, go to silentjim.com/the system. And my favorite podcast episode, by the way, King, I think you've heard me say this, is number 754, where you and I got together and you just spoke from the heart on some truly personal issues, as well as diving into what your heart is for this community. And I'm just honored to work with you, man. It's always good to see you, brother.
It's the same. Thanks, Jim.
All right. We'll do it again next week. All right, man?
All right.
Talk to you then.